We are watching Ava's backstroke over the water. Commentary by Coach Chris. Ava has a strong grasp of a lot of the fundamentals, but you're going to see a lot of movement in the head. This is something we've talked about in the past. Really, a lot of it is just she's over trying. She gets really keyed up and just tries to go really, really hard, and she hasn't learned really how to relax most her body. And so when I'm swimming or racing a stroke, even when I'm going all out, 75-80% of my body is completely relaxed. I'm only using the muscles that I absolutely have to use. And this is part of what helps me have endurance. This is part of what helps me be efficient. But when I watch Ava swim, every muscle in her body is firing, even the ones she doesn't want to fire. So she's just willing herself to go, trying to go so fast. She just wants to get going so fast that she's over trying on everything. And you see that a lot with her head positions. You know, she doesn't relax the neck. The neck is involved in everything, and it's whipping the head around. One thing that may help, and I think there's a problem that will resolve itself as she gets older, but one thing I think will help is just really focusing on keeping the eyes under control and keeping the neck relaxed. I just think that a lot of it has to do with just she's, too much of a tense neck. She's trying to initiate all movement from her head. Just keep the head back, keep the neck relaxed, keep the eyes on one point and keep it there. And if you notice your head's moving too much, she just needs to relax and focus on keeping it still. And I would say that needs to go on the priority list because she's very, very motivated. She wants to work hard. She wants to be at the top of the group. But with some things like her backstroke, she needs to start prioritizing getting this head under control and still and just keeping it relaxed. Because she's going to have to do it at some level, whether it's when she's older or not. And I think when she gets older, she's going to have more control over it because she's still developing, and a lot of this stuff is outside of the young kid's control. So it's one of those things where she needs to be made aware of it. She needs to focus on it. But trying to keep that head still, it's a priority, and it's something I'm sure she'll get better at as she gets older. But really, I want to see her relax. Everything's so tense, especially when she's trying to go fast. As far as fundamentals, we can take a look at it. Look at that shoulder roll. We work on that. That's perfect. She gets the shoulder up. She gets it up high. She leads with the shoulder before her hand comes out. Her thumb comes up. She gets the pinky down at the right spot. She leads with the shoulder in. Look at this drive. She's got a lot of the fundamentals that a lot of the kids don't have. Look at this shoulder drive. She'll bring that shoulder in before the hand. It accelerates the hand, and she gets a deep set for the pull. Boom. It's just she's got the fundamentals, and she's learning and working so hard at learning, which is part of why she's being successful, and she's having a lot of success this season. It just comes down to, as I watch her hand come out, a lot of it comes down to just over trying. And here's where that head position kind of throws her off. She moves the head a little bit. She's looking kind of up and to the left. And now it's keeping that shoulder up a little too late. You can see this bend in her arm. And so her hand's going to come back flat. And you're going to see the fingertips leading instead of the hand and the pinky. So that's kind of what I see. I see she has a fundamental grasp of everything, and then, when head gets really wild, all of a sudden she'll have to correct for it, and this is one of the ways she'll correct. When it happens. The left hand, her head's back in normal, she's bringing it in perfect. Right hand, that one was pretty good. Left hand, all right. Okay. Just at times she'll lead a little bit too much with that wrist. You can see here her hands kind of hooked. See this a lot with young swimmers. They like to have that hand hooked. I'd like to see it just more straight. Just keep everything in line. A little bit of overreach here. You can tell she's on, and again, I think this is partly the head position. The head's moving and throwing her out, but here you can tell she's reaching in front of the head, and it's causing the elbow to bend a little bit. You know, when you're swimming, of the head. I'm drawing with a mouse, so please forgive me. Shoulders, you got body. Okay. From the shoulder, you know, the ones that tend to have the strokes that bend elbows or bend wrists on entry, you know, they're reaching in front of the head. They're reaching like here. They're thinking of the backstroke as an L, when really, if you watch good backstrokers, it's this. You know, they're reaching outside the shoulder as a hand enters. They're wide. They're like a little narrow Y. And I like to tell my swimmers that, and I know I've told Ava that as well. You know, don't swim like you're an L. You know, if you're thinking letters of the alphabet, I think a lot of kids think the swimming is the L shape, but in almost all strokes, you're not an L. You're skinny Y. That's the way you want to reach and enter your hands. And right now, you know, when you see her reach in front of her head and center line like that, and that is a habit she does have, you will see her reach on the inside and get in that position, and that'll cause her to bend the elbow and get out of position a little bit with some of her strokes. So bring that hand in from the top down, bring it in a little wider. A little flat as she brings the arm over. Again, it's just a little too violent. It needs to be a little more relaxed here. I would have this arm up like a regular freestyle stroke. Just bend the elbow and bring it over like a regular freestyle stroke, nice and relaxed. She's got that arm straight and she's just swinging it across, chopping it in. It doesn't have to be that violent. It's not that explosive movement. You're just getting your arm in so you can get the turnover. She's a little hesitant on her turns. You can see her waving her arms around. We've been working on that. But still a little hesitant on her turns. She has a little bit of a fear of getting the feet on the wall. So she doesn't really drive them. As she comes over, we'll frame back a little bit. As she comes over, you can see her kind of decelerate. Right here, see, she's braking. She's kind of slowing herself up. She doesn't really want to bring the feet over as hard as she can because she's afraid she's going to hit her heels or hit the wall wrong. And that's slowing down her momentum and keeping her from getting good contact with the wall because she's kind of pulling back her punch at the last second. We'll talk about her underwaters. You know, they've been getting so good. We'll just talk about them on the underwater video. Breakout solid, you can tell, and this is pretty common for little kids. She's looking back this way. She's looking opposite of where she wants to look. If you watch a good swimmer breakout, they don't look back when their head hits the surface. They look this way. They keep the head back as far as they can. And the reason is when she looks the way she was looking, she's going to follow this line. I mean, you can see her body actually rise up as it follows the line here. See? Watch. See how it shoots up? It's because she's heading up more than she's heading back. And really what you want to do is keep the eyes up and forward and lean away from the surface as it approaches on the breakout. And that'll get you going this way. So you won't have this. See this bump here? You won't have this because you'll be keeping back against the water. And see this stroke right here, you can watch as she reaches in. You know, she's got everything almost right, and then she's just reaching a little bit too inside. You can see how it's coming in towards the center line, across the center line. That's why you're getting those little bends. There's a little bend in her elbow, bend in her wrist, not quite where she wants to be. You know, here her arm's here. I'd like to see her arm more out this way. So think about that skinny Y. Your backstroke is a skinny Y. It's not an L. So So I really like a lot of the stuff she's doing. She has a strong grasp of fundamentals. It's just getting them to apply and getting over the head movement. Keep the neck relaxed, keep the chin up, keep the throat exposed, but don't squeeze your muscles and keep control of the head. The head stays still by being relaxed. It's like laying it on a pillow or laying on the floor. The water will support your head. You don't have to keep everything so tight. And try to keep it relaxed no matter how hard the body's working, whether it's the shoulders, arms, legs, core. The head doesn't need to be quite so tense. The neck doesn't need to be so tense as you do these techniques. Because she's got a great grasp of the fundamentals. A lot of the stuff I'm seeing are just things that a lot of little kids do. Keeping the chin a little close is also contributing to that head movement. She needs to just relax the head, let it back, expose more of the throat to the ceiling. She's got a good grasp of the shoulder roll. She just needs to make sure that she's not reaching in front of her head when her hand enters. She needs to reach outside of the shoulders. She needs to swim like a skinny Y with her backstroke. That's the easiest way to put it. And that'll set that body in position so it can rotate quickly and smoothly and relaxed. It's really kind of the position you want to be when you're swimming that backstroke. That hand needs to enter more in that Y position outside of your shoulder, not on the inside like a streamline or like an L position. Approaching the wall, just got to be a little more consistent in hitting the wall with more authority. She's really ginger with it. She wants to hold back. She wants to softly get her feet on the wall. She's afraid of hitting her feet. She just needs to start bringing the feet over and letting them land with some impact. So long as you do it right, you're not going to hit your heel on the wall. She needs to trust her body, her skill. It's very unlikely she'll hit her heels. She does a pretty solid job on her approaches. Just has to be careful not to overswim them, and she won't have that problem. But she definitely holds back and slows down as her feet come on the wall. And that's something to talk about. And we'll look at her underwaters and her pull on the next underwater video.